our geographic inference technology allows you to do analysis of conversations in social media for a much greater coverage of tweets than is usually provided through the Twitter firehose or other Twitter data sources, expanding coverage from the normal 1 to 2% to over 95% of all tweets at the country level. We also enable a lot of capabilities around discovery and alerting. We can help you to be alerted to any trend that you may be wanting to monitor for. We can also help you to discover correlations to new information related to an analysis that may be unexpected, and can do a number of different types of trend analysis. So next, let's go into an overview of the Topsy APIs. First, Topsy provides the ability to get both streaming APIs and bulk historical data access. These two offerings are quite similar to offerings provided by some of the other Twitter data resellers. You can get a real-time speed of tweets streamed to you as they occur for any topic that you're looking to analyze. And if you know in advance everything that you're looking for, this can be a very good way to get new information on that topic streamed to you as it occurs. And Topsy provides some very valuable enrichments in this area that are not available from other vendors. Maybe the most important of which is our geographic inference, which allows you to get that larger coverage of a geographical area that you may want to have information streamed to you for. And so you can monitor by geolocation for a very large coverage of all tweets using Topsy's geoinference technology. We also have similar technologies in other areas like language identification, sentiment analysis. We do tokenization of double byte character languages. You can analyze in any language around the world, etc. And so if you have specific questions on those, definitely let us know. But this gives you a very powerful way to define the stream for which you would like to receive data. And the second area for bulk data services for historical tweets, if you're looking to get multiple millions of tweets provided to you in a bulk data file, we provide a service for that we offer under our data services. We often call full tweet retrieval, that if you want for any period of time since the very first tweet in Twitter, any set of tweets based on any criteria that you're looking for those, we can find all of the tweets that match that and provide that asynchronously to you in a bulk data file download. And those requests may take on the order of hours or in some cases a couple of days, and is similar to the asynchronous requests that competitors offer, but we are often given feedback that our services in that area are provided much more quickly than other offerings. The rest of the offerings on this page are completely unique to Topsy, and Topsy enables a number of instant response synchronous APIs. These APIs all return response in less than a second, typically in under 250 milliseconds, 1/4 of a second. And this includes APIs that can give you metrics, insights, and content. Metrics include, for any point in time in the Twitter history, you can get access to the number of mentions of any topic, sentiment scores, geographical counts, and potential impressions counts for anything that you're searching for by geolocation, by keyword, phrase, Boolean query, hashtag, Twitter handle, author analysis, etc., and several others. Second, we provide the ability to get instant access to insights like identification of key amplifiers or influencers for a particular piece of conversation, discovery of related terms or hashtags, and third, we provide access to real-time response for content, whether you're looking for the top tweets, links, photos, videos, URL, or author analysis. For any point in time, you can get instant access to that historical content. And all of the documentation of these real-time response APIs is available through api.topsy.com. /doc/resources. And you'll see a list of the actual resources listed here for our content, metric, and insight APIs. And for any of these APIs, you can go in and actually see the REST API call command and a list of all of the different parameters that are available. Of interest is some of the sorting methods. So you can choose to rank results in these instant response APIs by a number of different rankings. So if you want to get the top 100 tweets from people that had the most influence, you can do that very quickly, or the tweets that got the most impressions in Twitter, most mentions, etc. Additionally, take a look at the filter parameters, which includes the ability to filter your analysis through any of these API calls by things like latitude, longitude, geographical regions, sentiment analysis, etc. And all of those filtering parameters are available to use without any additional cost. Next, I'd like to give an overview of one of the major platform upgrades we've done to the underlying Topsy platform technology, which is that we've enabled instant access to the full history of public tweets on Twitter. This includes every single tweet since the first tweet in 2006, as well as new tweets being available in the platform in less than 1 second from when the tweet occurred. This is a pretty enormous amount of information. In the first half of this year, that brought us to over 320 billion tweets in total. And a year prior to that, there was only 80 billion tweets in the history of Twitter. So you can see the growth of information on this platform is quite enormous. Currently, we're now at over 400 billion items in the index. There's several interesting properties of this platform upgrade in addition to the ability to access every single tweet. The first is that we calculate all of our statistics, ranking, and inferences in real time at query time. And so when you do a query for some Boolean statement that could be quite complex with nested Boolean statements in it, our system will count the tweets that match that query at query time and return to you statistics over a time series of the number of tweets that match that analysis or the number of impressions that match that analysis. And the way that we've developed this technology, that query will actually be completely serviced by in-memory information across the thousands of servers in our data centers and be processed by multiple servers simultaneously to give you that fast response that returns an instant response in under 250 milliseconds. This also enables you to get minute-level statistics for any point in time. And so if there's a particular event, such as a bombing, and you want to see minute-to-minute granularity of the conversations that happened right after that to quickly find the first person that reported it on the ground. If you want to get minute statistics for conversations leading up to an event, you can do that very easily for any point in the history of Twitter. We, of course, support Boolean analysis, both for how you're identifying the content that you're wanting to receive, as well as any of the statistics that you're looking for. Our web URL analysis allows us to give you domain-level statistics and domain-level content and analysis, so that if you're interested in any tweets that are referring and linking to a particular web page or any number of web pages on a particular domain or subdomain, we can do that because as every tweet comes into the Twitter firehose, we are actually browsing to that tweet through our software, and we're indexing information from the final destination landing page that link resolves to. This allows us to give accurate analysis of the number of tweets and which tweets link to a particular URL or domain, regardless of how that URL is shared. And so as you probably know, most URLs are shared in social media using a URL shortener, such as bit.ly or Tico or glue.gl, etc. And regardless of all of those shorteners used or the number of redirections that a link goes through before it gets to its destination, we can give exact, accurate information for the final destination. We offer a number of advanced search operators, long phrase support, and several other capabilities with this new platform upgrade. Next, I'm going to go into a live demonstration. Hold on one moment while I switch to the demonstration. So to demonstrate the capabilities of our API offerings, I'm going to show you one application that is developed on top of these public APIs, and that is Topsy Public Sector, our web-based social analytics product. The way that this product works is that you can conduct analysis by searching for different terms, authors, keywords, hashtags, etc., that you might want to analyze. So if I were, for example, interested in looking for tweets mentioning the keyword Syria, I can type that in, and Topsy will instantly show me the minute-to-minute statistics over the last 12 hours. And I can change my analysis to look back further than the last 12 hours. I'll go ahead and just choose all time to see the number of tweets that mention Syria in the full history of Twitter. That response returns instantly, and now I'm seeing a graph that shows me the exact statistics of the number of tweets that mentioned the word Syria since the inception of Twitter. And I'll go ahead and switch that to day granularity to see when there's particular spikes for a particular day. As we can see, and not surprisingly, there's a very large spike in conversation recently. And I'll switch to the last year to look at when exactly that happened. As I see this big spike, I can click on any point. And in this case, there was over 400,000 tweets that mentioned Syria on August 27th. If I want to narrow in to what was happening that day, I can immediately see by asking for the top 5 most relevant tweets that several news organizations are reporting to me what happened that day and about the more than 100,000 people killed in Syria conflict, according to the UN Secretary, reported by BBC, etc. Now, at any time, I can filter my analysis, tweet type, web domain, etc. I can choose to exclude media from my analysis if I want to, and just look at conversations coming from non-media or people on the ground. I can also look and say, okay, over the last 30 days, what are the top things that people are talking about in conjunction with conversation about Syria? Who are the top influencers driving conversation about Syria? And what are the top results as far as the top tweets, links, photos, and videos being shared related to conversation about Syria? All of that is, as you can see, very instantaneous through these APIs. You do not have to wait for processing of millions of tweets and pulling those back into your own data centers to do those analysis and develop your own analysis on top of those. You can leverage some of the analysis that we've already done and find the areas that you want to investigate more deeply. And then if there's an area of interest that you want to investigate more deeply, you can request every single tweet through our APIs for that particular area and conduct your own further analysis on that internally. This is very powerful for ad hoc, real-time analysis of information where new things may be uncovered that you want to start to investigate into, new words, hashtags, events, authors, etc., that might be of interest, and in being able to immediately analyze those. So that's a very, very quick demonstration. And again, all of the APIs are documented at api.topsy.com under the documentation tab. At this point, I'm going to switch to the next presenter to talk through some third-party integrations of the API. And why don't we take a quick minute to take any questions that you might have on the overview I've just covered while we switch presenters to the next presenter.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Gary Mann, and as Jamie noted, I am a sales engineer in Topsy's public sector group. And what I wanted to do was talk through a few integrations. And I guess I want to make sure that everybody can hear me properly first. So if you can't, could you just let me know? Or raise your hand and let Alex know, and we'll try and address that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk through a couple of use cases here of different parties that have integrated their applications using the Topsy APIs, as well as even show a couple simple integrations that we've done internally to support some demonstrations. So the first is a social media intelligence solution. So as Jamie noted, I work in the public sector group. So one thing a lot of folks are doing is they're integrating social media in with their existing applications. And this user was a very small company that wanted to integrate some social media information and social media data analysis into their application. And the key benefit here for them was the ability to use Topsy's APIs to merge that information very, very quickly and without having to deploy a big infrastructure. So if you think about a lot of people, when they think of Twitter data or social media data, the volume comes into mind. And I think the initial thought for a lot of even integrators that we talk to is, hey, I need to stand up a big environment, and I'm just going to suck in all this Twitter data, and then I'm going to run some analysis on it. But the key thing with Topsy is that we've already done a lot of that analysis, and a lot of that information is just available within our search index. It can be queried on demand via the API. So there's no need for a big upfront investment in deploying a large search index and a large hardware infrastructure to support these data volumes. The data is there already. So the second application that we're going to talk about is a large port security application that we deployed with one of our partners. And the whole idea is that Topsy provides one slice of information that the customers want to see to give a common operating picture for port security in this area. So, from one platform, the security personnel were able to visualize both location information for ships and containers and that kind of thing, and also get a very clean signal for social media that is coming and discussing that port and the events surrounding that port. So the whole idea was that the pulling in Topsy APIs was a very easy integration. All our APIs are RESTful. They're very, very straightforward and very easy to integrate in with an existing application. And I think the key benefit here was also they don't have to invest in a big infrastructure, and they can query the Topsy index on demand. So I'm also then going to show, and I think we'll make these slides available to you, there's a couple of other integration examples that are out there on the internet that you can look at sort of on your own, but we do have a couple screenshots that I'm going to show on the next several slides that talk about some of the different ways in which people are leveraging the APIs. So the first is the Twitter political index that you may have seen in the last election. We actually have some ability to use Topsy APIs and information gleaned from Topsy to support link analysis. And then obviously I think as Jamie mentioned, geospatial is a big area. We have some geospatial capabilities within Topsy, but a lot of folks have existing geospatial based applications that they want to integrate social media information into. So the first is the social media index, and as described previously in the last election, social media presents a really good signal for sentiment about the different candidates. And Twitter actually stood up a website, the Social Media Index, or the Twitter Political Index, that use Topsy sentiment analysis and social media to sort of predict the election. And this is available out there on the internet. I believe it's actually been sort of disabled now since the election's over, but it just gives you a good example of how Topsy information can be sort of integrated in with, in this case it was Esri information, to present a single graph of data. This is a link analysis, and NodeXL is a tool that lays on top of Microsoft Excel. And one thing within Topsy, as I think Jamie indicated, was we can export data via our APIs in several different formats, including comma-separated format, JSON format, and JSON-P format. But in this case, we can export information via the API in CSV format that can be directly pulled into a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet and then used to display and links between the different Twitter users. So the key thing too is, if you think of Twitter, there's a lot going on with people following each other, following celebrities, following sports figures, what have you. But the real indicator and the real signal of a relationship is when I retweet somebody or I mention somebody directly. So this type of analysis and using NodeXL would allow you to see that signal very, very clearly. In this case, it's going to generate a graph, a link analysis graph, drawn from data pulled from the Topsy APIs. This is also an integration, a screenshot of an integration that was done with Esri over Hurricane Sandy. And one of the links on the previous slides was a movie. Video that shows this actual integration. And the key thing here is what we're doing is we're pulling social media data occurring during the Hurricane Sandy as it hit New York City, and we're looking for power outages and power issues and displaying them on a map. So it's an interesting video, and that link will be available to you. This one happens to be another node analysis application. We're pulling in social media directly. In this case, Semantica is a link analysis application, and we can display it visually here directly from the Topsy API. And this is a second example using a different link analysis tool, Centrifuge, pulling in some process data from the Topsy API and just generating a graph showing connections between the different users there and showing a very good link analysis graph. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into a simple application, a couple of simple applications that we've done to using the Topsy API, and hopefully everybody can see my screen here. So this happens to be a geospatial application. We chose just to use publicly available Microsoft Bing Maps here. And the whole point is I want to, let me just do a reload here, make sure we're good to go. So I may want to do some querying of Twitter information geospatially. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill into a specific area here. Maybe I'll back out a little bit here. And I want to draw what I want to do is I want to draw a box. And so I'm going to draw a little bounding box here on my map. And then I want to query for, maybe I'm just going to type a single word, fire, in that area. See all the mentions of fire that are available there. So what it's doing in the back end is it's hitting Topsy's APIs. And a couple of things I just want to point out. You can see I've got a result set here. I've got 6,800 tweets, and I've got a filtered set of 102 tweets. So Topsy does geo-inferencing. So we're inferencing a large portion of tweets to the general area. In this case, it happens to be the state that I searched in. But then we can also, there's a very small, less than 2% of tweets actually have a longitude and latitude associated with them. And what we're then doing is we're filtering those geo-inference tweets down to tweets that are known to be inside the box that I drew. So then I can map the filtered tweets right here, and I can mouse over and see the tweets that are available here. directly within the box. This is a very simple integration, just showing something that different users may want to do directly within their applications to allow a geospatial query. The second one I do want to show, and this is just another simple integration here. This happens to be with Esri maps, so I'm going to reload it here. And the key point here is the Twitter data is time enabled, and this map is also time enabled. This happens to be around the Colorado wildfires that happened earlier this summer. And so what I have is I have this slider where I can drag it over and just kind of display Twitter traffic within a specific time frame here. And if you note, there's two types of icons here, and the green icons actually show media. So I can display directly on my map, I can show pictures that different on-the-ground users are tweeting about the wildfires. So it's great for situational analysis, and I can show this information directly on a map and drill in as necessary. So those are, and since it's temporally enabled here, I can sort of, change my query and just, sort of hone in on a specific time frame or set of time frames there, and view different tweets there and smoke. So those are the two just very quick demos that I wanted to show. There's obviously a large variety of different applications that Topsy information and Topsy APIs can be integrated with. So what I'm going to do, and go back over, I'm going to turn this back over to Alex so that we can answer any questions or any other that you may have on different integrations folks have done or on the APIs themselves. So what I'm so hold on a second while I actually go to do that. Oh, is somebody there?
Hey, Gary, we have one question that just came in for you about some of those demonstrations you gave. With some of the mapping examples, someone in the audience has asked, what was the rough development effort to use the APIs to do that type of geographic analysis and create a map, like maybe the first example in particular where you're doing the box highlighting for the bounding box. What was the sort of development effort to get to the level of application that you have shown there using the Topsy APIs?
Here, the bounding box took, all told, I would say about a week and a half to put together, and to support using the APIs. Most of the work is going to be in the front end, using the map to display and that kind of thing. But yeah, it was fairly quick to do the integration here.
And that was
the
a week
Esri example.
How many developers? How many developers in that week?
Just a single developer, just myself. So yeah, about a week and a half.
Great.
All told. And the Esri, this example is much simpler, and this only took about a day to put together. Also, so just as a frame of reference, I think so I can actually draw a radius too. And that was primarily the complexity on this demo.
Great. Any other questions from anyone on the call? Either you raise your hand to ask a question, or you can also, again, type in questions through the question tool in GoToWebinar. Gary, that was a great demonstration. Thank you very much for going through those. We have a question that's come in asking about the information that Topsy provides with tweets. When retrieving tweets from the Topsy API, do you get
additional metadata with each tweet? And the answer to that question is that yes, there's a number of different types of metadata provided with each tweet. You have the option of retrieving the full set of Twitter metadata for each tweet so that you can get all of the fields that are in the full Twitter Firehose for a tweet. But then in addition, you also have the option of getting Topsy enrichments provided to you with each tweet. And those enrichments include things like the influence analysis, our geographic analysis, and the determination of the location that we may have inferred for the tweet, our language identification, URL resolution, etc. And so you'll see as you start to look through the documentation of APIs that Topsy provides, there is sort of a basic set of metadata for tweets available, as well as an enriched set of metadata for tweets available. And that enriched set refers to including those Topsy enrichments added to the full set that Twitter provides. So great question. And there's a question about pricing for these API services and data services. To get information on pricing, the best way is to contact our government team just by emailing gov@topsy.com, and they can come back to you to work with you on pricing for any of these offerings depending on your use case and what information you're looking to collect. Essentially, all of the APIs are priced based on the information you're pulling from them, and so we can work with you to assess which data you're looking for and share with you the full details of how that would be priced for you. Great question. Well, that looks like that's it for questions for today's webinar. Thank you very much to Gary for joining to go through those third-party API integrations. And thank you to all of you who dialed in to join for today's webinar. If you have any questions following the webinar, feel free to send them to gov@topsy.com, and we'd be happy to follow up with you on any questions you might have about API capabilities or schedule a meeting with you to go into more details. And we'll keep you informed of upcoming webinars and information as well. So thank you very much to all that joined.